My name is Stella Sabiiti. I come from Uganda, but I have lived on 3 different continents as a refugee. I've raised my children on 3 different continents. So I understand how women and children are affected by war and violent conflict. This brings me to recall one evening in Darfur, in Sudan, Western Sudan, when the conflict was at its height. I was among a team of experts to evaluate the peacekeeping and peace support operations going on. Our job, it was a team of 3, myself and 2 men. Our job was to find out if the funds were achieving what they were set out to do. So we visited Darfur, but all our discussions were with the high-level key players, government, international actors, African leaders, and not even once was the word women, civil society, IDPs mentioned. And I kept insisting, why aren't we mentioning the women? Why aren't we mentioning the children? Why aren't we mentioning the IDPs, the internally displaced persons? My concern, my preoccupation wasn't that I was the only woman on a male-dominated team, but that the people we were supposed to be supporting, whose lives all these missions were supposed to save, were not being mentioned at all. They were like on the periphery. Why weren't they at the center of our discussions, at the center of our evaluation? I'm glad to say that since that dusty evening in Darfur, the peace-building world has come a long way, bolstered by the resolution made by the United Nations Security Council, Resolution 1325, in order to look at the issue of including women in all these peace processes, starting from prevention through management, resolution, and then stabilizing the peace in the post-conflict and reconstruction period. Of course, 1325, without any action or traction on the ground, is nothing but words on paper. Luckily, the United Nations, together with other regional bodies, came together and they provided an avenue for action for the different players to come and develop their national action plans and even progressed further. And some of them have developed their regional action plans to make sure that they walk the talk. This gap between words and action, this gap between talking and walking does exist. The United States, in the introduction to its National Action Plan, or the NAP, made a statement saying, you just cannot achieve your objective if you leave half of the world's population out. Can you imagine having a successful football game when half the team is seated on the bench? We need you. We need your active participation. We need to hear your stories, your own personal stories, stories that you have shared with others, stories that have been shared with you. We need your experiences, because this, just like 1325, we would like this process to be inclusive.